Let us now settle into a spirit of worship with a moment of quiet to be followed by the music of, and this is different than your order of service, Prelude by Matthew Johnson. You're also invited at this time to light a silent candle of joy or sorrow. I want to share with you the words of Lorraine Botteroff McNeil for our child's lighting this morning. Today is Father's Day, she writes, a day in which we honor and offer gratitude for our fathers in whatever form or fashion they come into our lives. Biological fathers, stepfathers, adoptive and foster fathers, grandfathers, spiritual fathers, and all of the uncles, brothers, and friends who, whether they know it or not, have helped to fill the role of father in someone's life. We are shaped by their presence and their absence, by how they chose to act and when they abstain, what they say and when they remain silent. Let us remember today and always the impact that these people have on us as individuals and as a community. And let us also remember that this relationship is not one-sided and that we, as a community, are called to support and empower the fathers of this world, no matter how they come into their roles and regardless of their creative relative successes or failures. Let us raise up their triumphs and let us have the grace to forgive them their all too human failures. Let us love our fathers and each other. Come, let us worship together. Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Worcester. My name is Aaron Payson, and I'm honored to be one of the ministers of this congregation, a congregation of love, hope, and justice, inspiring people to take on the challenges of a changing world. We begin by acknowledging that in Worcester, Massachusetts, we work, learn, live, and worship on the seized ancestral homeland of the Nipmuc people who survive and remain active as the Nipmuc tribe. We offer a special welcome to those of you who are new or visiting with us for the first time this morning. We're delighted that you're here. We hope that you will join us in Fellowship Hall following the service for refreshments and conversation. If you have any questions or desire any information about this service or any of the ministries and programs of this congregation, please do not hesitate to ask. We invite you to fill out one of the cards found in the pews. These cards can be placed in the offering plate or given to one of the ushers or greeters this morning. For those of you who are joining us online this morning, we offer you a very special welcome. For safety purposes and so that we might come to know you better, as you are able, please place your name on your video feed. Please take a moment to sign one of the attendance clipboards that are now being circulated. Though you're not obligated to sign, we appreciate your information and we will use it only for church business. During the service, we offer an opportunity to share a brief personal joy or sorrow. If you'd like yours to be read aloud by me, please print it on an index card in the pew and drop it in the collection plate when it comes around. These cards will also be placed outside the minister's office to be shared with friends at other services. For those of you online, you can place your joy or sorrow in the chat, and we will share it during this important time in the service as well. In the foyer, there are listening devices, large print service programs, and hymnals for those who may find their assistance beneficial. Please see one of our ushers or greeters who will be pleased to assist you. I invite you now to turn your technology to worship mode, and I would ask that you take a look at the back of your order of service this morning for any announcements. There'll be time for short verbal announcements following the postlude. I want to update you that next Sunday is our General Assembly Sunday, and because the time of the service is at 11 a.m., we are going to, instead of trying to gather here at 11 and changing time and so forth, simply invite people to join together for that service at their own homes. And you'll understand why later as well. But this plan will give you an opportunity to join our own Cheryl Lachey, who is going to be traveling to Baltimore. And I want to encourage you to do this, not because this particular service celebrates Cheryl, but Cheryl will walk this week with other colleagues who are entering retirement. So I want to just acknowledge that this is a very important weekend for Cheryl and for this congregation, that we sent her to Baltimore with all of the requisite love and support that we can, and join her in celebrating her enormous contributions to our movement and to the ministry of this congregation over the years. And I want to thank her personally for all that she's done here. So we're glad that you're here, and we hope that this morning is an opportunity for rest, reflection, and rejuvenation. And I want to invite now our own Linda Morse to come forward and share a poem that has been very near and dear to her.
Good morning. This poem is titled, "Peace is This Moment Without Judgment" by Dorothy Hunt. Do you think peace requires an end to war, or tigers eating only vegetables? Does peace require an absence from your boss and spouse and yourself? Do you think peace will come some other place than here, some other time than now, in some other heart than yours? Peace is this moment without judgment. That is all. This moment is the heart space where everything that is welcome. Peace in this moment without thinking that it should be some other way, that you should feel some other thing, that your life should unfold according to your plans. Peace is this moment without judgment, this moment in the heart space where everything that is welcome. Thank you. Oops.
Would you please join together in our opening hymn this morning, found in your teal hymnal supplements, number 1051, We Are. Please rise in body and spirit. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe. We are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe. We are. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and sons of great visions, sisters of mercy and mothers of love. We are lovers of life and builders of nations, singers of truth and givers of faith. We are makers of peace and wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God, mothers of courage, fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and sons of great visions, sisters of mercy and mothers of love. We are lovers of life and builders of nations, sisters of truth and givers of faith. We are lovers of life and wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers. We are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe. We are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe. We are. Each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe. We are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises, sings to the universe. Please be seated. I'd like to invite our basket bearers forward at this time. Those among us who are representative of our religious exploration program with their baskets of change for change. For those of you who are not familiar with this, every time we gather for worship and our religious program participants are present, we offer them an opportunity to contribute to the emergency fund of this congregation. If you have change that you would like to contribute, please raise your hand, and one of our basket bearers will be by to find you. And I can take them when you've finished. You've got the really big basket. Can I take that one? What? Yep. Can I have it? Thank you. Thank you so much. You have one. You're good. I'm just handing them all in. That's all. Thank you. All right. Thank you. All right. And I think folks are either gathered back with their families or in the lounge where there are plentiful things to play with. Just letting the rest of you know that in case there's any desire, I think our fiber arts group would appreciate that. For those of you who are not into fiber arts, what we need to have is fidget toys in every one of the pews for, folks who want to keep their hands. I want to begin my remarks this morning by saying that initially the title of this piece was Boys to Men. But really what it is a piece on gifting. And I hope you'll understand why that has changed this week. But I begin with the words of Lynn Cox this morning, who writes, "Holidays are complicated, especially the ones named after roles. Human relationships are messy, including relationships with people who are honored by holidays. For a lot of people, Father's Day brings up feelings of grief for fathers who were lost, who couldn't be there, who chose not to be there. Father's Day might also bring up feelings of sorrow or regret for people who wanted to be fathers and haven't been able to, or haven't been able to be the fathers they wanted to be for their kids. Today might be a day of divided loyalties for people who may have called more than one person father or dad in the course of their lives. Then there are people of a variety of genders who are father figures, step-parents, mentors for young people, but who don't get the recognition they deserve today or any day. On the other hand, Father's Day can be joyful and sweet, remembering the times when dads or granddads or role models were there for us, whatever their gender or gender expression. For people who have a positive relationship with a living parental figure, today may very well include happy phone calls, funny greeting cards, and tacky ties. For contented new fathers, today might be full of wonder and hope as they get used to their new role. And for a lot of people, there will be a mix. Even the best of dads fall short sometimes. Some fathers who struggle still have their shining moments. Nothing, she writes, is simple. So for those of you who are honoring Father's Day today, I want to ask you the question: what is the best Father's Day gift you ever received? So the great gift of time with your sons and doing the things that were important. What else? Matt?
When I was
Actually, I think the best way to do it is to do it.
When I was recovering from my heart surgery, I was finally awake for Father's Day. And it was the one time that I've ever had lunch with my daughter and my son at exactly the same time. And it was such a joyous day.
Anyone else? Back in the back?
Yeah, okay. So some years ago, went out to lunch with my daughter and her husband for Father's Day, and they had this nice card that they hand me. That my daughter's an art teacher, and she had handcrafted this card. It was very pretty on the front. And then inside, I opened it up, and it said, "I'm pregnant." That was an excellent Father's Day gift.
Others? Go ahead, Deb.
But our younger son, we were at a yard sale, and he picked something up, and he said, "Mom, what is this?" I said, "It's a toupee. It's what men put on their head when they don't have any hair." And he said, "Let's get it for Dad for Father's Day." So he wrapped it up, and Craig wore it. It was brown. And he said, "I thought when I got a dad, he would have hair."
Lovely. So, no ties? No breakfast in bed? No, I don't know, tell me what other gifts? Books, right? Barbecue or tools, right? All of those things. Yep, the artwork on your wall. The thing that is so very powerful to me about this, and I'll tell you one of my favorite, and I have a number of them, artwork that was given to me by my son, but on my tie today, and you cannot see it because I have a t-shirt over it, is a tie pin that has a pig on it. Now, you would think that's one of those typical Father's Day presents that a 7 or 8-year-old or a 9-year-old will get you, right? But the story behind it is, do you remember the old Robert Fulghum story when he tells the story about doing the play Cinderella when he was a kindergarten teacher, and how all of the children were supposed to pick parts for themselves in the play, and they auditioned for different parts. And one of the kids that decided that they wanted to be the barking pig in Cinderella. And, you know, everyone's like, there's no barking pig in Cinderella. And Fulghum says, there is now. And the barking pig in Cinderella was like the Greek chorus, or the clown that followed you around and mimicked everything that you did and blew every action that you made up into something important, and then when everyone was kind of laughing, would jump up on its hind legs and bark, because that's what pigs do. And I'd like to think that the pig on my tie is representative of something that I tried very desperately to share with my children, was to be yourself. Do not let the world define you. Define your role in the world, and then do it with gusto. And the other thing that's so powerfully important and was so representative here of the comments that were made was the gift of time. And I want to recall a story about one of the revered forebears of Unitarianism, Ralph Waldo Emerson. The story goes like this. "What do you want for your birthday?" Father asked his daughter. "Do you want a doll?" She wrinkled her nose and scrunched her eyes and thought, "No, a tea set then." A pony? No, Father. I have a year to think. I want this year to be a special year to remember. All right, you think and you let me know, says Father. Ellen thought. She thought about bonbons and chocolate and new dresses and hats and kid boots and books and gloves and lace collars, but none of these were what she wanted. What would be special? Each day her father asked her, Ellen, do you know what you want for your birthday yet? I have to just pause and say that would be annoying every day for one of my parents to say, have you figured it out yet? I mean, after the third or fourth day, I'd be, no. And Ellen would shake her head, no, Father, I'm still thinking. And I can just imagine that got a little more stern after every day. No, I'm still thinking. No, I'm still thinking. After a few days, her father said, Ellen, yes, Father, I've decided. Well, she said, I have a riddle for you. It will tell you what gift I want for my birthday. The riddle is this. You cannot buy it, for it is worth all the money you have. But only you can give it. But only you can give it. You can't buy it, for it is worth all the money you have, but only you can give it. Dad thought to himself, he said, I will repeat this back. I can't buy it because it's worth all the money I have, but only I can give it. Is that right? Yes, Father. Well, now it's my turn to think about your riddle. I have to find the perfect present in the mystery. Father paced and pondered, repeated the riddle over and over. I cannot buy it. I can only give it. He paced and pondered, and finally he smiled. I know exactly what this is. Now he had to think about how to give it. When Ellen's birthday came, there was no present from her father. She didn't expect one. After she had opened the presents from her brother and her sister, from her mother and her grandmother, and after the cake was all gone and the celebration was over, Ellen's father said, it's now time for Ellen's present from me. Come sit with me, he said. So Ellen climbed into the armchair and sat on her father's lap. And he said to her, my present to you is very special. I hope it is what you wanted. For it is not a book or a toy or clothes, but instead it is a present that is for all seasons and for every day. This year, your birthday present for me is that we will spend time together every week. Just the two of us. For you are my very special daughter, and I love you dearly. Ellen hugged him. Oh, Father, I knew you would figure this out. Her father said, you cannot buy it, for it is worth all the money you have, but only you can give it. Took me a long time to figure out the answer, but when I did, I knew what gift you wanted. The answer was simple. Give yourself. Father, I wanted a gift to make this year special. Time together with you will make this year the very best year of my life. Ellen looked into her father's eye. Father, why are you crying? Yes, you teach me more than any book I've ever written. By giving you time, I will gain more than I can give. It was Ellen's turn to figure out this riddle. Now, could her father by spending time with her get more than he gave? She thought she knew love multiplies, but perhaps she would only understand when she was older, when she had children of her own. But her father understood. And when he wrote an essay on gifts, he wrote, give yourself, for he knew the wonder of this gift. It was in 1844 that Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote his short essay on gifts. In it, he includes the following. And I want you to think about this in relationship to all that's gone on this weekend with protests and parades. Next to things of necessity, the rule of a gift, which one of my friends prescribed, is that we might convey to some person that which properly belonged to his character and was easily associated with him in thought. But our tokens of compliment and love are for the most part barbarous. Rings and other jewels are not gifts, but apologies for gifts. The only gift is a portion of thyself. Thou must bleed for me. Therefore, the poet brings his poem, the shepherd his lamb, the farmer corn, the miner a gem, the sailor coral and shells, the painter his picture, the girl a handkerchief of her own sewing. This is right and pleasing, for it restores society insofar to its primary basis. When a man's biography is conveyed in his gift, and everyone's wealth is an index of their merit. But it is a cold, lifeless business when you go to shops to buy me something which does not represent your life and talent, but a goldsmith's. This is fit for kings and rich men who represent kings, and a false state of property to make presents of gold and silver stuffs as a kind of symbolic offering or payment of blackmail. The best hospitality and of generosity is also not in the will but in fate. I find that I am not much to you. You do not need me. You do not feel me. Then I am thrust out of doors, though you may proffer me house and lands. No services are of value, but only likeness. When I have attempted to join myself to others by services, it proves an intellectual trick. No more. They eat your service like apples and leave you out. But love them, and they feel you, and delight in you all the time. He goes on to talk in this essay about things like perhaps fruit is a good gift because fruit is the lasting essence of that which flowers. I don't know how many of you have had a tangerine or I'm forgetting what kind of orange this is, clementine, but I remember going to a meeting in Florida once with a group of colleagues and standing there at a payphone back in the days when we didn't carry cell phones, calling my wife, and the tree right beside the payphone had clementines hanging fresh off its branches. And as I talked with my wife, I peeled fresh clementines and ate them in the sun. So I was trying to figure out what gift to give you today, those of you who are fathering. And I thought a clementine might be exactly the right thing because it is symbolic of a flowering. And I ask you to think this day about this. What is the lasting symbol of your flowering? What is the lasting essence of who you are at your most glorious? I will tell you, for me personally, because I have been gifted with this, it is my children that are represented in this small, fragrant fruit, and the relationship that I have with my wife and my family. But it is also representative of the potential that comes from any moment when we flower. So take and consume as you desire or gift to someone else, but remember that you too have the capacity to flower and to gift the world something that symbolic of that very essence in you. And when it's time to give a gift to someone, think about something that is aligned with this essence. Very few things that you purchase, or any of us purchase, are going to matter as much as that which is of your essence. What is that essence for you? I will tell you that sometimes gifts come in strange ways. This week was possibly the strangest of all for me personally. I explained to you all over the last few weeks that I plan to have hip surgery on the 25th of this month. And I went this week to have a colonoscopy on Tuesday and then see my hip surgeon on Wednesday for all of the preoperative testing, only to discover in the colonoscopy a polyp that was too large to remove during that procedure, and the insistence on my gastroenterologist that it be removed sooner than my hip surgery. And so, after consulting surgeons here locally and talking with my surgeon for my hip, who said I'd have to wait 3 months to have that procedure done, things have changed. Next Friday, I get to undergo abdominal surgery, have that polyp removed, spend a couple of days in the hospital, recoup at home, and then wait to hear from my surgical team about when to reschedule my hip surgery. I have no news for you other than every test that I had this week came out normal, except for that colonoscopy. Now, why would I tell you this story when I'm talking about gifts coming in strange packages? Here is the greatest gift my father ever gave me. My father, who faced down a number of chronic illnesses, more than I have ever faced, said to me, "Greet everything that happens in your life as an opportunity." Now, he was the person who, every time he had a setback, gave himself permission to have a night of, what did he call it? Throwing a pity party for himself, right? Because he said it's human to let yourself feel fear. It's human to let yourself imagine all of the things that seem unimaginable. He said, but the real opportunity in doing that is to recognize that when you're able to name those things, you also have the ability to claim the direction you want to go in. He said, the presence of fear is only the shadow of the presence of that which is ultimately important. He said, and when you concentrate on what's ultimately important instead of concentrating on what you fear, you give yourself the best possibility of participating in your own well-being. So guess what? I didn't go to the No Kings rally yesterday. And I didn't watch that damn parade either. Right? What I did was sidle up to my wife and eat a very, very good breakfast. Call my children, make certain they were fine. Spend the evening articulating what was transpiring to those who needed to know here. And make the decision to tell you this morning what was happening so that this week through Thursday, I'm able to be present with you in whatever way you need. But I want you to hear that this opportunity is a gift for me. I am so grateful that I had a colonoscopy. I am so grateful that I have a medical team that is as attentive and aggressive as they are. I haven't gotten a biopsy back yet, and my surgeon said, I don't give a damn. He said, whatever comes back is secondary to the fact that you don't want this in you, whatever it is. So I'm going to take it out. I said, excellent. Let's do that, right? And then we'll figure out what goes on from there. And Kristen and I are in a good place. We have support. We have all kinds of people around us that are wishing us well. And we will continue to do that. And I look forward to coming back in the fall, perhaps even with a new hip by then, depending on when they decide to return this. But I'm remembering this day my father's gift to me about how to deal with the circumstances in life that we don't welcome, by saying, welcome every circumstance as a gift and an opportunity to learn something. And though you may feel fear and allow yourself to contemplate all of that which fear can bring into you, you also have the capacity to find your way into health and wholeness by remembering all that that fear illuminates, that is good, real, and right. And so that is what we're going to do, and we are doing. I have to eat soup? Oh, yummy. So I want to finish by saying to you words that from the author of the first piece that I did this morning, Lynn Cox, who ended her piece with these words. So here's my prayer, she writes. May we be grateful for the nurturing we have received in our lives, especially this day from those who have fathered us into the fullness of our own being, from sources both hidden and obvious. May we heal from the losses highlighted by Father's Day. May we nurture each other and the generations to come, and may the friendship and love we have in our lives today ease the pain and amplify the positive memories of our past. May this be a day of reconciliation, a day of peace, and a day of healing. Amen? Amen. So we come to that time in our service when we are given an opportunity to share that which is reflective of our own values and our own work, the fruit of our flowering, if you will, an offering in service to the ongoing ministry and mission of this congregation, and I invite you to contribute in a way that makes you feel good. For those of you who are online, you're welcome to contribute, or those of you here who wish to contribute digitally, you're welcome to text 508-231-5335. Follow the instructions on your screen. At this time, the morning offering will be received.
Hate and fear, you've got to be taught from year to year. It's got to be drummed in your dear little ear. You've got to be carefully taught. You've got to be taught to be afraid of people whose eyes are oddly made, and people whose skin is a different shade. You've got to be carefully taught. You've got to be taught before it's too late, before you are 6 or 7 or 8, to hate all the people your relatives hate. You've got to be carefully taught. You've got to be carefully taught.
Let us give thanks for giving and for giving. We come to that time in our service when we're given pause to consider what is deepest in our hearts or most profoundly on our minds or in the work of our hands in the days that have transpired or in the prospect of days to come. Joys and sorrows that touch us deeply and are given another measure of meaning because of our capacity to share them in the midst of a company that claims us as a co-journeyer. So I invite those of you who have joys or sorrows this day to come forward and form lines on either side of the sanctuary, to come and speak briefly into the microphone so that those who are using our auditory enhancement devices or joining us online can also participate in this important ritual. And then to light a candle if you so desire. Are there joys or sorrows to be shared this day?
Hi, my name is Sam, and I came up here to say about this flag. So where is it? This is a Pride and Peace flag, so showing that the pride part is to show about everyone.
Thank you so much.
Also, I do have also a few sorrows that there are a lot of things that are happening right now, but we can still find at least a lot of joy and stuff.
Indeed. Thank you.
I had a great time on the Common yesterday. My name is Mara Pentlarge. I went around taking pictures of all the people from this church. 25 people from this congregation. It was fun.
Good morning. I also had a fun time, but not on that Common, a different Common, and there were 400 people in downtown Fitchburg yesterday. But I actually want to, on this Father's Day, thank and send prayers and incredible gratitude to my father-in-law, actually, John Janelle, who died 5 years ago this April, at the beginning of a year that I truly do not want to remember. The gifts that he gave me and gave to his family are just so deep, and I have so much gratitude to him. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Wes Shepeluk, and a couple weeks ago I mentioned that I was going to get a pride flag, or a rainbow flag.
There you go.
Yes, and yesterday I received a package from Amazon, and in it was a huge rainbow flag. And so I proudly put it up in front of my house during the military parade of Donald Trump. And it really is just so big. I'm looking around the neighborhood like, please. But I'm glad to have it up.
And I don't know who sent it to me. I have no idea.
I am Bruce Lachey, and as you heard, my wife is traveling down to General Assembly in Baltimore, which is both a joy and a very slight sorrow because, as usual, she's been to GA, 15 or 20 times, and as usual, she'll be gone during our wedding anniversary because GA always falls during our anniversary, which is June 21st, but next June 21st, we will have been married for 44 years.
So I am back. Last week, the week before last, I was on vacation up in New Hampshire, and then I went down to Maryland for a wedding, my niece's wedding, which was wonderful, a joy to share. And for this last week, I came back up to New Hampshire with one of my best friends of all time, and we stayed for a few days before my 50th college reunion. And I was kind of reminded in this idea of being carefully taught. When I went to my school, it started out as an all-male school. And during the time that I was there, we transitioned to being a coeducational school. And I'm grateful for the lessons that we learned from our colleagues who were women about how to be men, about how, I mean, I think that there was this idea before the women came that men had to be a certain thing, that men had to act in a certain way. And it was brash and it was forceful and kind of thinking of women as more objects than people, and learning to be brothers and sisters. It was an important gift. Boy, don't you hate this. We also remembered 100 of our classmates, our brothers and sisters, who had gone. And so it was a very, very wonderful opportunity. It made me glad to be on this side of the world.
Good morning. My name is Dawn Dowd. I have the honor of sharing joys and sorrows from people who are with us in our online community. Janet Cutman has shared that she is struggling with how to handle her family who is refusing to discuss their support of Trump with her. And yet yesterday she sent a note to her brother letting him know that she was getting ready for the peaceful protest, that she felt she needed to speak up and be counted and be part of the message that what's been happening since January is not right, not normal, and not democratic, and many other items that are wrong with what's happening, recognizing that so many people are living in a state of terror and how so much is reminiscent of Germany back in the 30s, and that she's scared. She also shared her anger at the administration about the National Institutes of Health and how she's alive based on their research, and her worry about what will happen when her medication stops working and there is no additional funding. So she sees that as very personal, seeing these cuts being made with chainsaws instead of logic, and how unhappy she is and how much she'd like to be able to discuss things with people, that one-way discussions are weird and silence is impossible. I also want to share that on behalf of our online community, that, I have to go down a little bit, so I apologize. Gloria Webster shared, what a beautiful message, Erin, you shared with us. Thank you for your share, and she's sending healing energy. And Josh Belden wants to make sure you know that we are here for you. Janet Hawks, Erin, she's sending her prayers, respect and love, and she will be there with you. Now's the time to thank those who make it possible for us to attend church and be part of here every Sunday.
Can we thank Shaw for his words today?
Hi, my name is Shah Salmi. As a father, I'm always proud of any milestone that my boys achieved. For example, my oldest one graduated from high school. And you know, some of you may or may not know him, but he's a little bit autistic, so that was quite a journey for him to achieve, and we're very proud of him. And my little one, many achievements. He performed at a Worcester All Elementary Orchestra at Holy Cross a couple of weekends ago. He won in a soccer championship, so he's a champion. I love it. He also one belt closer to achieving his black belt, and he's only 12. So I'm very, very proud of both of them. But the best Father's Day gift was when he came home this past Friday from school with a certificate saying that he won the Kindness Award.
I just have a joy. I just have gratitude in my heart for during prayer and meditation this morning, I was able to forgive my dad and see the gifts that he had for me. Thank you.
Let us be in the spirit of prayer and meditation. Spirit of life, source of our innermost being and our outermost expression, give thanks this day for those who have fathered us into the fullness of our being by either their example or our wrestling with who they were in our lives. Help us be mindful of the gift that we have to nurture life into the fullness of its own being for those that are our responsibility and those with whom we walk in the world. We're mindful this day of beginnings and endings, of great and lasting achievements, and for quiet moments that gift us with grace. We welcome the images and the spirit of those who have gone before us as we walk boldly into the future. We continue to wrestle with all that is most meaningful to us, even as we are stymied by the lack of capacity of some in our lives to greet us with that same openness. Help us be mindful of the gift of our own flowering, so that we remember who and whose we truly are. Amen. And blessed be. Would you please turn in your hymnals to number 649, gray hymnals. The words of Anton de Saint-Exupéry. In a house which becomes a home, one hands down and another takes up the heritage of the mind and heart, laughter and tears, musings and deeds. Therefore, we do not neglect the ceremonies of our passage when we wed, when we die, when we are blessed with a child. Let us bring up our children. It is not the place of some official to hand them their heritage. Let us build memories in our children, lest they drag out joyous lives. lest they allow treasures to be lost because they have not been given the keys. Where's Pauline? I spent 2 days trying to find that in French. Could not find it anywhere. Excellent. Would you please join together in hymn number 1053, found in your teal hymnals, and rise in body or in spirit? Could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. Could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? How could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? How deeply you're connected to my soul. I close with the words of my colleague and friend Mike Johnson, who was my mother's minister in Maine and who officiated during her memorial service. I love these words by Mike. She writes, I invite you into a period of quiet meditation. Close your eyes if you wish and get comfortable. Think about the father figure you carry in your heart. I invite you to remember the gifts and the wounds you received from that person or persons. If any feelings come up, just breathe deeply and honor those feelings as a connection with your own heart. As we conclude our service this morning, I invite you to listen to some fathering words that we don't get to hear often enough. I love you just the way you are. I have confidence in you. You can achieve your goals. I will stand behind you. You can depend on me. I am proud of you. Stand up for yourself. Your opinions and feelings are important. I have faith in you. Amen. And blessed be. Please be seated.
I need your glory. I want your glory. Less of me and more of you is what I need. I need your glory. and I need your power. Less of me and more of you, Lord, it's what I need. So many times I've strayed away, rejecting your love and your warm embrace. I realize I need you more and more each day, more each day. Anybody here needs His glory? Yeah, I need your power. Less of me and more of you, Lord, is what I need. I need your glory. I need your glory. Less of me and more of you is what I need. I need your glory. Ha! I need your power. Less of me and more of you, Lord, is what I need. I need your glory.
Well, I guess worship has ended. But our service continues next with an opportunity for refreshment and conversation. May yours be a wondrous and wonderful Father's Day, Fathering Day. And if there are short announcements, okay, there you go.
Okay. Ferry Beach, ask me if questions, registration is live. Second, if you're interested in painting, there's an opportunity to paint. Go look at the message.
Anyone else? No one? Let's eat.